Hello, John. Hello. Hello. Welcome to SaugaTalks.
Well, thank you for having me, Irene.
Perfect. So for our audience out there, we are very privileged and honored to have here today John Reynolds, a colleague of mine from some time ago, not recently, unfortunately, but some time ago. And John is doing wonderful things with his life. He is building great stuff. His latest app called Trules. Okay, John will talk about it more. But what we would like to focus today is John acquired GraphQL skills not long ago, but he rose it to the level where he is kind enough to share his wisdom. So we're going to be talking about GraphQL for everyone, for business people, for half technical, for half business, and everyone in between. So GraphQL is our topic. And I asked John to introduce, without any complex terms or any too technical details, to us commoners, why people talking about GraphQL, why developers bringing this buzzy news to their management, to their business counterparts, to executives. What do we commoners need to know about it? So John, take it away.
Great. Thank you, Irene. So, yeah, I mean, and Irene will have to beat me up several times because I will go into the technical jargon without even knowing I am. But basically, so just what I'm doing right now, I am building a communication app for making decisions, for reaching agreement online. And I am using GraphQL and some other libraries that are very closely related to it. And I'm doing that because I need it for my application. And it's, I would like to introduce it this way. You really can't have a discussion about GraphQL without talking about Facebook.
All right.
It's Facebook, right? And in a way, Trules that I'm working on, it's sort of like Facebook. In other ways, it's not. But you guys probably all know Facebook. So let's talk about why Facebook sponsored GraphQL. What did they need? All right. So what is Facebook? Okay, Facebook is a social media application. It's a communication application. And in building this application, Facebook found that they were having some real problems with other technologies, with other database technologies and things like that. They needed something a little bit different. Well, Twitter is also a social media application, and they didn't come up with GraphQL, so why did Facebook? Well, if you look at what Facebook does, Facebook is about sharing news articles. And it's not just about sharing the news articles, it's about people's reactions to the news articles. And it's all about having a bunch of people looking at a news article at the same time and thumbs up, thumbs down, leaving comments, having discussions. And what Facebook needed was they needed a way of getting all of that information from the cloud, from these devices into the cloud and then distributed to other devices like this. And so they brought together a bunch of stuff and sponsored GraphQL. Now, GraphQL is how I get my data from the cloud to my device and from my device to the cloud. That's what GraphQL is. It's not really a database. It's really they call it an application programming interface. It is the language that I use to get the data that I need and to push the data out that I need to push back. And if you think about Facebook, and it's actually true of Trules, also the app that I'm working on, or GitHub uses GraphQL also. It's mostly about getting information and getting these little updates so that you know that there was an update, so that you know that I should go read this update, right? It's really not about pushing a lot of data into the cloud because most people are gathering instead of pushing. Okay, so it's optimized for gathering.
Mhm.
And then the other thing that's very important is this is a highly interactive app, right? I want in order to hook me, right? Facebook has to update this all the time and let me know what's changed. They want to hook me, and they do. By the way, I check this thing like every 5 minutes. And every 5 minutes, it's got to be up to date. That was the problem that they had to solve. So GraphQL is not just a way of, it's a great way that the programmer who's programming for this thing can tell the server, I need this information. And it's a great way for the programmer using this device to push information. But the other thing is these notifications. And GraphQL, at least the way that I'm using it, it always has this ability for me to also, from my device, tell the server what I am interested in so that I get updates on that. And I get updates on only the information that I'm going to be displaying on a particular screen.